Be for passage, and the rest will be held for consideration. Mr. Clerk, call the roll.
Chairman Chacon.
Present.
Senator Burke.
Present.
Senator Dela Cruz.
Present.
Senator Lombardo.
Here.
Senator Picard.
Here.
Senator Sosnowski.
Present.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum.
Thank you. The first bill we have before us is Senate Bill 428 by Senator Kano. It's an act relating to state affairs and government, Department of Administration. This act would require the Office of Diversity, Equality, and Opportunity to create and for all state and municipal employees to receive annual training in cultural competency. It would define cultural competency as an understanding of how institutions and individuals can respectfully respond to people from all different backgrounds such as race, language, economic, gender, veterans, and disabilities. We've heard this in the past couple of years and we've passed it. At this time, I'm looking, there is no one in opposition to it, so I'll entertain a motion for passage.
So moved. Oh, I'm sorry, Madam Chair, you moved. I'll second.
Yeah, I so moved.
Seconded by me, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Clerk, could you call the roll?
Chairman Chacon.
Yay.
Senator Lombardi.
Yes.
Senator Burke.
Yes.
Senator Dela Cruz.
No.
Senator Lombardo.
Yes.
Senator Picard.
Yes.
Senator Sosnowski.
Yes.
Motion passes. President Ruggiero.
Okay, thank you. And it's be moved to the floor for passage. Next bill up, Senator Kano has requested that her next two bills be held until the end. So we'll move on to Senate Bill 433 by Senator Lawson, an act relating to labor and labor relations, establishing the Commuter Transportation Benefits Act. This act would establish a Commuter Transportation Benefit Act. Employers with 500 or more employees would provide a pre-tax transportation fringe benefit program to provide transportation to the employees. The act will take effect January 1st, 2022. And it appears that no one has signed up. I have a motion to hold.
So moved.
Motion made by Senator Lombardo, seconded by Senate President. Mr. Clerk?
Chairman Chacon.
Yes.
Senator Lombardi.
Yes.
Senator Burke.
Yes.
Senator Dela Cruz.
Yes.
Senator Lombardo.
Yes.
Senator Picard.
Yes.
Senator Sosnowski.
Yes.
President Ruggiero. Motion is held.
Okay. Next bill that we have, it's a great bill. It's an act relating to equal opportunity and affirmative action employment of people with disabilities, sponsored by Senator Chacon. The act would incorporate the federal affirmative action and non-discrimination obligations of federal contractors and subcontractors regarding individuals with disabilities, utilization goal of 3% for employment of qualified individuals with disabilities into the Rhode Island Equal Opportunity and Affirmative Action Law. And I believe we have several people that are signed up to testify. Okay.
Yeah. What up?
John? Good afternoon, Bob. Welcome to Senate Labor.
Pleasure to be here. As you've just said, the bill is designed to try to improve employment opportunities people with disabilities. Right now, only 35% of working age adults with disabilities are employed. It's the lowest in the New England states, and the bill is also designed to assist people with disabilities to create their own businesses. There were some objections on the House side from the Department of Administration. We've met earlier today and have reached an agreement to make 3 minor changes to the bill before you. The major change is for job training programs for people with disabilities. We would be reducing the state goal of 3% of state contract and subcontracts down to a 1% goal. All 3 changes are nicely on page 5, and I can send you the precise wording changes.
That would be very helpful. So the changes have been agreed upon between the Department of Administration and your office, Bob?
Correct.
Okay, and the House bill will be amended the same as the Senate bill?
Yes, it will. And, well, I think this year it's we're going to get the ball right out of the ballpark.
Okay, good. All right. Anyone have any questions for Bob? All right. Thank you for your testimony.
You're welcome.
Next, we have Robert Marshall. Good afternoon, Mr. Marshall. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Not bad at all.
Thank you for the opportunity to testify on behalf of the Rhode Island Developmental Disabilities Council. I'll be very brief. We have looked at this. We see it as a great opportunity for people to have access to real jobs. We have been, as a council, running trainings for people with disabilities who decide that rather than look for a standard job, they'd rather develop their own skills and become self-employed, and this would give some of them the ability to have subcontracting opportunities. We think that would then do 2 things. One, get those people employed, and secondly, some of those larger companies might realize what good an employee someone with a disability can be, and may open up their other jobs to more people with disabilities. So we think you should take a serious look at putting this into place. I'll be happy to take any questions.
Are there any questions? I don't know if you heard Bob Cooper earlier, but there was an agreement reached with the Department of Administration to make some minor changes which will amend the bill, the House bill and the Senate bill, so it matches. And we hopefully we'll move it to the floor once it comes back with the amendments.
Okay. I didn't hear them because I'm in 3 overlapping committees at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, motion is ordered to hold.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. Mr. Clerk?
Chairman Chacon,
Yes.
Senator Lombardi,
Yes.
Senator Burke,
Yes.
Senator Dela Cruz,
Yes.
Senator Lombardo,
Yes.
Senator Picard,
Yes.
Senator Sosnowski.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The bill will be held and come back to us as soon as the adjustments are made to both the amendments for the agreement between Mr. Cooper's office and the Department of Administration. Next bill up is Senate Bill 438 by Senator Acosta. It's a joint resolution ratifying the proposed amendment to the Constitution of the United States relating to the labor of persons under 18 years of age. Joint resolution ratifying the proposed amendment of the Constitution of the United States which will relate to people under 18 years of age. We have one person signed up. Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Riesco. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing good. My name is Ramon Riesco, and I'm the one that brought this legislative issue to the attention of Senator Acosta. In the 1920s and 30s, child labor was rampant around the United States, and Congress submitted this amendment to the state to be ratified. The opposition was fierce, with accusations that the federal government was overstepping its power. In the end, it fell 10 states short, and future Supreme Court rulings gave Congress the ability to regulate child labor. Rhode Island took no action on this amendment, failing to step up for the children of the country when they needed the state the most. By ratifying the amendment now, Rhode Island can change this historical mistake and put the state on the right side of history. Currently, our nation is going through a time of historical reflection, and the shameful past of the child labor era is often forgotten. Rhode Island's silence in this era is deafening. Many lives were lost across the country between the 1920s and 30s by the state dragging its feet on this amendment. While Rhode Island is no longer the same state it was in the past, the blemish still remains. I hope the committee will advance the amendment so that the state can go on record of being anti-child labor. The amendment's already law, so it'd be symbolic, but it'd be a powerful symbol, and I hope you guys will consider it. I end my time.
Thank you for your testimony. Are there any questions from the committee? Being none, once again, thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Motion is in order to hold. Motion made by Senator Sosnowski. I see her raise her hand.
Yep.
Second by, I see Senator Lombardo raise his hand. Mr. Clerk?
Chairman Chacon,
Yes.
Senator Lombardi,
Yes, I'm sorry.
Senator Burke,
Yes.
Senator Dela Cruz,
Yes.
Senator Lombardo.
Oh, he's off, I think.
Okay. Senator Picard,
Yes.
Senator Sosnowski.
Yes.
Motion's held, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, now we're going to go back to two bills, I believe, by Senator Kano. Its first bill is Senate Bill 429, an act relating to public properties and works building service work. Excuse me. This act would require that janitors and security guards employed pursuant to the state contracts worth more than $1,000 of janitorial or security services be paid a standard compensation rate. The Director of the Department of Labor and Training will determine the standard compensation rate and its wage, benefit, and leave components. I believe we have Senator Kano to further explain the bill. Good afternoon, Senator. You there? She's muted. She on? I believe she's testifying in Health and Human Services. So this is 429 is a new bill, and we'll be hearing it and holding. We have 4 people signed up to testify. Okay, Roxanne Rivera. Good afternoon, Ms. Rivera. Welcome to Senate Labor Committee.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair Chacon and Vice Chair Lombardi and Secretary Burke and members of the Senate Labor Committee. I'm Roxanne Rivera, and I'm Vice President of the 175,000 member union SEIU 32BJ. Our members, who are largely contracted out, clean and secure transportation hubs, state and private office buildings, and other public facilities in Rhode Island and up and down the East Coast. When state contracts ensure that janitors and security officers have family-sustaining jobs with fair wages and affordable health care, Rhode Islanders benefit from high-quality services provided by experienced workers. Services become substandard when the bidding process incentivizes vendors to cut corners in a race to the bottom, leading to high employee turnover. Many states, including Massachusetts, recognizing this, level the playing field by including wage and benefit standards for bids. Studies by the Center for American Progress and the National Employment Law Project show that these policies reduce restaffing costs, raise productivity, and help avoid the hidden costs of poverty wages on state health and human service programs. A 2019 state report to this legislature identified several current state building service vendors as being among the employers with the most employees on Rhode Island Medicaid at an average annual total cost to the public of over $7,000 per employee. Public wage standards are also essential to economic stability. These essential workers, mostly working through the pandemic, support the working families and communities who have been hit the hardest. Supporting these workers means supporting Rhode Island's full recovery from COVID-19. By adopting a wage and benefit standard for contracted building service work, Rhode Island can do right by working families, improve service quality, and ensure fiscal responsibility. I urge you to vote yes to advance this bill into Rhode Island state law. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. Are any of the committee members that have any questions? Once again, thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Neil Condon. Good afternoon, Mr. Condon. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Welcome to Senate Labor.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
We're here for your testimony on Senate Bill 429.
Good afternoon or evening, and now that we're past the 5 o'clock hour. My name is Neil Condon. I am currently a security officer with G4S Solutions in Central Falls. Before I worked at TF Green Airport, and I'm here today in support of my fellow security officers and cleaners, urging you to improve standards on wages for all of us. I can tell you that under $15 an hour is not enough to get by in this state under any circumstances. At TF Green Airport, when I worked security overnights, I was making $11 an hour, and the only way I was able to manage to get by was by working overtime and not being able to spend time with my daughters and my kids. At the time, I was receiving no child support, and I still am receiving no child support, and I wasn't getting state insurance at the time. And as a single parent, as a type 1 juvenile diabetic, not being able to get insulin and the cost of living and struggling to feed my kids and my family is it's a challenge. Massachusetts and Connecticut have passed their similar legislation, and it's time for Rhode Island to pick up the pace a little bit. In addition to better wages, we are also urging to get better health care, paid time off, and I can't afford to get insurance through my employer due to the deductibles being so ridiculous. It's just way too expensive for out of my pocket, as well as the cost of a vehicle, owning insurance, and everything else. It's so hard to get ahead and try and get better, create a better future for my kids, as well as their generation at such a young age. Low wages are just bad for workers. They're also bad for businesses too. At TF Green Airport, they lost almost 90% of the staff that I was working with due to the low wages and the types of responsibilities that they were forced to work with. Passing better standards for security officers and cleaners would be a win-win for Rhode Island, and I appreciate you guys for listening. And thank you for.
Thank you for your testimony. Are there any questions from the committee members? Being that there's none, Neil, thank you and have a good evening.
You as well. Thank you, sir.
Next, we have Ricardo De La Cruz. Good afternoon, Mr. De La Cruz.
Good afternoon. I am interpreting for Mr. De La Cruz, and please let us know when we're ready. We'll go ahead and get him to start.
We are ready right now.
Okay, adelante, Ricardo.
Sí, buenas noches. Me alegra estar aquí hablando sobre la importancia de mejorar los salarios y los estándares para trabajadores como yo. Mi nombre es Ricardo De La Cruz.
Good evening. I am very happy to be here today speaking on the importance of improving wages and standards for workers like me. My name is Ricardo De La Cruz.
Yo limpio un edificio público en Providence. Yo trabajo con mi hermano Miguel, quien también hablará en el día de hoy. Llevo 2 años trabajando en mi trabajo.
So I am a janitor at a public building, the Providence Federal Court, just like my brother Miguel, who will also be speaking today, and I've been at my job for 2 years.
Antes de venir a Rhode Island, desde la República Dominicana, yo era maestro de computadora. No podría conseguir este tipo de trabajo aquí, ya que necesito hablarle el inglés perfectamente.
Before I came to Rhode Island from the Dominican Republic, I was a computer teacher, and I couldn't get that kind of job here without speaking English perfectly.
Así que trabajo como limpiador en el edificio. Es diferente a lo que antes hacía, pero estoy orgulloso del trabajo que tengo ahora.
So I work as a janitor. It is different than what I did before, but it is good and it is honest work.
Me enorgullece llamarme un trabajador esencial, a pesar de que ha sido aterrador correr el riesgo de contraer el COVID.
I'm proud to call myself an essential worker, even though it's been scary to risk catching COVID.
Y llevarlo a mi casa, donde está mi esposa y mi hijo de 12 años. El problema con mi trabajo es el salario.
So it's scary to risk catching COVID and bringing it home to my wife and 12-year-old son. What I do mind is working full-time, yet not making enough money.
Yo trabajo tiempo completo, pero no gano lo suficiente para darle a mi familia la vida que se merecen. También no tengo tiempo libre para pasar con ellos.
I work full-time, but the pay is not enough. I also don't have any time off to spend with my family.
Han pasado varios años desde que llegué a este país y no he podido regresar a mi país de origen. Y cuando lo hice, tuve que irme sin mi paga.
It's been years since I have been able to trip back to my home country, and when I did, I had to go without pay.
Por un tiempo comprendí cómo se sentiría tener un salario digno. Al principio de la pandemia recibíamos un incentivo de $5, además de nuestro salario, pero ahora nos lo quitaron.
For a while, I understood what it would feel like to make a livable wage. Earlier in the pandemic, we were getting $5 on top of our regular hourly wage.
No éramos ricos, pero de alguna manera sentíamos que finalmente estábamos ganando lo suficiente.
We weren't rich by any means, but it felt like I was finally making enough.
Necesito ese salario con regularidad, no solo por unos meses, sino para poder darle a mi hijo y a mi esposa una vida mejor. Ayúdenme a hacer que eso suceda y aprueben este proyecto de ley. Muchas gracias.
I need that wage regularly, not just for a few months, so that I can give my son and wife a better life. Please help me to make that happen and pass this bill today. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. I have a couple of questions. You said he worked in a federal building?
So yes, Ricardo, la pregunta que está haciendo el legislador es que si usted trabaja en un edificio federal, ¿correcto?
Sí, correcto.
Yes, correct, at Providence Federal Court.
And could you tell us what his wage is?
Ricardo, ¿se siente cómodo compartiendo cuál es su pago?
Sí, yo gano 11.75 a la hora.
11.75, so
sí.
$11.75 per hour.
Okay, thank you. Any of the committee members have any other questions? Okay, thank you for your testimony and have a good evening.
Muchas gracias, Ricardo. Buenas noches.
Igualmente, muchas gracias.
Likewise, thank you very much.
Next we have Miguel de la Cruz. Okay. We're in the process of contacting him. Good afternoon, Mr. De La Cruz, and welcome to the Senate Committee on Labor.
Bienvenido, Miguel, y adelante.
Hola, ¿cómo está? Mi nombre es Miguel de la Cruz. Gracias por darme la oportunidad de compartir mi historia. Y soy un limpiador contratado en un edificio público, residente de Providence, inmigrante de la República Dominicana. Estoy aquí para decir que necesitamos elevar los estándares para trabajadores como yo.
Thank you very much again for taking the time and for giving me the opportunity to share my testimony. My name is Miguel de la Cruz, and I am a contracted janitor at the Providence Federal Court. I live in Providence, and I'm an immigrant from the Dominican Republic, and I'm here to say that we need to raise standards for workers like me and our families.
Desde que llegué a este país en el 2004, nunca he dejado de trabajar. Durante los últimos 4 años he limpiado en el mismo edificio. Me gusta el trabajo, estoy orgulloso de hacer mi parte para mantener el edificio limpio y salvo del COVID. Me llevo bien con mi jefe. El único problema es que solo gano 11.50 a la hora y he tenido que luchar para este salario.
Since I came to this country in 2004, I have never stopped working. For the last 4 years, I have cleaned the Providence Federal Court. I like the work. I'm proud to be doing my part to keep the building safe and clean from COVID-19. I get along well with my boss. The only problem with my job is that I only make $11.50 an hour, and I've had to fight for that wage.
11.50 simplemente no es suficiente para cubrir mis gastos. Recientemente volvieron a aumentar mi renta. Se siente como y siempre estuviera subiendo la renta. También ayudo y apoyo a mis padres que ya no pueden trabajar, dependen de mí.
$11.50 simply isn't enough to keep up with my expenses. They recently raised my rent again, and it feels like they are always raising the rent. I also help support and provide for my parents who are no longer able to work. They depend on me.
Además de eso, no tengo salud médico ni día libre pagados. Antes de la pandemia, muchos de nosotros veníamos a trabajar enfermos para que nos pagaran. Ahora simplemente perdemos los pagos que necesitamos. Tuve que hacer un trabajo en el dentista y ahora debo $3,000. No puedo ir al doctor regularmente para mantener mi salud. Esto se suma al miedo contra el COVID en el trabajo. No es justo. Los trabajadores como yo necesitamos y merecemos tiempo para descansar y cuidar nuestra salud.
On top of that, I don't have health care or paid days off. Before the pandemic, a lot of us came to work when we were sick in order to be able to be paid, and now we just lose that pay. I had to get some work done at the dentist, and now I owe $3,000. I can't go to the doctor as much as I should to make sure that I am healthy. This is on top of being afraid of catching COVID-19 at work, and it isn't right. Workers like me need and deserve time to take care of ourselves and our health.
Gracias de nuevo por escuchar y espero que mis palabras le hayan convencido de que necesitamos mejorar los estándares para los trabajadores esenciales en Rhode Island hoy.
Thank you again for listening. I hope my words have convinced you that we need to improve standards for essential workers in Rhode Island today.
Thank you for your testimony. Do any community members have any questions? No. Once again, have a good evening, Mr. De La Cruz.
Muchas gracias y buenas noches. Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Motion is in order to hold Senate Bill S. 429.
So moved.
Senator Sosnowski moves the motion, seconded by Senator Burke. Mr. Clerk.
Chairman Chacon?
Yes.
Senator Lombardi?
Yes.
Senator Burke?
Yes.
Senator De La Cruz?
Yes.
Senator Lombardo?
Yes.
Senator Picard?
Yes.
Senator Sosnowski?
Yes.
Motion's held, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Our last bill is Senate Bill 549, once again by Senator Kano. It's an act relating to public property and works state purchases. This act would provide an exemption to the requirements of competitive sealed bidding for local, minority, and women-owned business enterprises. This act would also provide a waiver of compliance to contractors requiring minority-owned businesses to be included in all procurements and construction projects. I believe, Senator, we're trying to see if she's done with Health and Human Services. And give her a minute. Okay. Motion be to hold.
So moved.
Motion is made, seconded by
Second.
Senator Sosnowski and Lombardo. Any discussion? Being none. Mr. Clerk.
Chairman Chacon?
Yes.
Senator Lombardi?
Yes.
Senator Burke?
Yes.
Senator De La Cruz?
Yes.
Senator Lombardo?
Yes.
Senator Picard?
Yes.
Senator Sosnowski?
Yes.
Yes.
I would also move to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Senator
So moved.
Senator Lombardi, could you hold for a minute? Senator Kano is just coming on. Good afternoon, Senator. We've held Bill S429, and we were just going to hold S549, but would you like to say something on it?
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman and member of the committee. I am so sorry I'm late. I was on the other committee trying to cover the other bills. But yes, if you give me the opportunity, I'd love to talk to you about Senate Bill 549. Is that the one that you asked me to speak on?
Yes.
Absolutely. So this bill is really important, and it came out of the recent pandemic, and it was brought out to my attention while I was in the Senate Task Force for the COVID-19 Relief Funds and the Oversight Committee. It came to the attention to many of us that out of the money to have construction for the state hospitals, we excluded minority business enterprise and women business enterprise with a waive on an executive order by the previous administration. They were able to waive it, and to me and to many other people, and especially the minority business enterprise and women business enterprise, it was extremely unfair. It was $37 million that we spent with taxpayer dollars in construction, and $0 went to the minority business enterprise, women business enterprise, when the current law actually is 10% that needs to be given to them. So this bill aims to promote local and minority-owned and women-owned business within our state. If a minority or woman-owned business enterprise submits a bid that is up to 10% higher than the lowest bid, the minority or woman-owned business enterprise shall be deemed to have the lowest bid. In many cases, minority or woman-owned business just aren't able to compete by offering lower prices for many, many different reasons. This bill aims to increase their competitiveness and aims to do the same for local companies who would also receive a similar benefit. If a local vendor submits a bid that is up to 5% higher than the lower bidder, the local business shall be deemed to have the lowest bid. Lastly, this bill adds more transparency to the waiver of compliance process. The waiver of compliance allows a business to waive the requirement for minority or woman-owned business enterprise established by the state. This bill will require that DOA provide a list of certified minority and woman-owned business enterprise and provide assistance with compliance. However, if a waiver of compliance is issued, the Department of Administration will be required to make this waiver public, and each contracting agency that fails to make a good faith effort shall be required to develop a remedial action plan. This bill also includes a monetary threshold and would apply to bids under $1.4 million, and this threshold provides a balance where we both promote local and minority women business enterprise while ensuring that tax dollars are spent wisely. In conclusion, I'd like to say that this legislation is modeled after the state of New York, who passed a similar legislation in recent years, and I'd love to open for any question that meetings may have.
Any committee members have any questions of Senator Kano?
I do, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Lombardo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Senator, you had mentioned that it's very difficult for a minority or women-owned business to compete. Can you give me reasons why they can't be competitive? You said it would cost them more. When every project out there, state, city, and federal, is prevailing wage, which every contractor needs to meet and follow. So why would it be more expensive for them to bid on a project?
So thank you so much, Senator, for asking that question. So the reason why it's more difficult for them to compete is not because they don't want to pay the prevailing wage. They actually do follow the law. It's because they are not able to, and most of the times we are not following. They're not able to grow their companies because while they bid for state or municipal projects, like they often are overlooked, and we are not really enforcing that 10%. So they are not able to grow, and therefore, when they submit the bid, sometimes the bids that they submit is a little higher than the lower price bid, and then so they're for that reason, they're not able to really get contracts by the state. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to create some equity in the process, and I'm trying to make sure that they are able to, especially if it is a local business and a minority business enterprise, woman enterprise that are certified, that they are able to actually have those bid process, and they would have, even if they have up to 5% higher than the lowest bid, that they would have the opportunity to have some of these contracts as part of their company and their success. But just so that's just basically what I have heard from them. They really want to make sure that they have the opportunity to have access to these projects. And for me, it was clearly unacceptable that even when the state had these millions of dollars coming from the federal government to do construction projects, that we still are able to just waive the 10%, which is very minimum compared to a whole project. And so for me, it's just really a issue of equity, and just to make sure that we give them the opportunity.
Are there any other questions of Senator Kano? Senator Dela Cruz, I see your hand up.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Do women businesses, minority businesses, already have any special protections or provisions when they bid?
No, they are included in the minority business enterprise category. So they are part of the 10% of bidding. So it's included into the same. So a project could be given to either a minority business enterprise or woman business enterprise under that 10% allocation of resources under our federal, our current law. So any project that has to do with construction with the state should be given 10% of that amount to the minority business enterprise or woman business enterprise. So they are protected under the same 10% allocation of funds, but not something different than that. Does that answer your question, Sir De La Cruz?
Yes, thank you.
Are there any other questions? Thank you for your testimony, Senator Kano.
Thank you so much, and I'm sorry I was late. I was trying to go back.
That's okay. Okay, I believe Senator Lombardi made a motion to adjourn. There was a second. Okay, Mr. Clerk, roll call.
Chairman Chacon?
Yes.
Senator Lombardi?
Yes.
Senator Burke?
Yes.
Senator Dela Cruz?
Yes.
Senator Lombardo?
Yes.
Senator Picard?
Yes.
Senator Sosnowski?
Yes.
Okay, that concludes tonight's hearing. Thank you.